Now, car companies, especially these newer brands, would promise you the moon whenever they're marketing their vehicles, and who can blame them? They want to create their own identity and pass on over a certain emotion to you when they want to introduce their products. It's just that sometimes a lot of these cars are hit or miss. Not this one though. What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be reviewing what I believe is one of the most promising compact crossover SUVs in the market today. It's the Jetour T1 IDM. Now, you might be surprised why I call this a compact crossover SUV when with its dimensions in itself, it looks actually like a mid-sized one, because you've got these huge muscular lines flowing right across not just the front but on the side of the SUV, as we're going to show you later on. Right here you got these boxy headlamps, you got this interesting looking front grille right here, you got LED fog lamps here, as well as an interesting pattern for the DRL. You got this long hood here, and underneath it you'd find the IDM engine technology that Jetour is proud of. It's called IDM because intelligent dual motor. Now you got the Jetour badge right there at the bottom of the hood right here, and as you can see, you got this front DRLs that work here as well. Don't worry, when you're driving along, it doesn't pulsate that way. It only does that when it's on park. And of course, you got your sensors right here, you got your camera right there in the front. I almost missed it because it's nicely integrated into the front grille right here. That works with the 540-degree camera. Because what happens is that as soon as the car moves along, when you have the 360-degree camera on, it records a particular portion of that road to give you a 540-degree look of the overall car. You got a camera right there on top of the windshield as well, giving you access to advanced driver assist systems. We'll be talking about that later on. Let's walk around the car and see what we can find. You'd see a lot more of the macho, muscular appeal that we were talking about earlier. For starters, you got a blacked out A-pillar. You got this nice front fender flare here that actually integrates quite well with overall bodywork. You got this over fender as well, black plastic cladding all around, because, say it with me, it's an SUV. So you got 19-inch alloy wheels. You got 4-wheel disc brakes all around, 200 millimeters of ground clearance all in all. You got cameras right here on the side and some chunky roof rails here on top as well. Just have to remember that there is a panoramic sunroof on the roof there, so you might want to take that in consideration if you're putting some stuff on the roof. Usually, if you go ahead and if you see and notice these SUVs, they black this out, creating a sort of floating roof design, but instead they put in this white panel right here with the PHEV badge right there. On the right side, you've got your Type 2 charger. So if you want to charge your Jetour T1 the malls or any or any quick chargers out there, you can go ahead and do so without having to worry about compatibility, and that's something I appreciate with this as well. It's pretty fast too for those DC fast chargers. From 30 to 100%, or should I say from 30 to 80%, it only takes 30 minutes. For starters, these rear tail lamps, I mean, look at them. You've even got some rear DRLs as well. Now you also have rear reflectors here at the bottom, which you got rear fog lamps as well, and thankfully it does not have any fake exhaust. You have the T1 badge and the IDM badge here as well, and it's got a power tailgate function, opening this huge rear hatch all the way right here, giving you access to all this space on the inside. Now you don't get any spare tires here, but you do get a tire inflator, but you do have a huge cubby space in the back to put all your doodads and knickknacks for all your stuff. Now you got a 12-volt power socket here as well, and some cubby holes for you to put all your items in here in the back. Now you got a lot of space to put all your stuff in, but if you need even more space, you can fold those rear seats flat in a 60-40 split configuration. So if you've got taller items, you can just go ahead and put that right in there, no problems. I love the design of the Jetour T1, and it does have some right lines in the right places here. Just a couple of things that I don't like, but overall it's quite an aesthetic that a lot of people will be able to appreciate, especially those who want to take their off-roading cars inside the city. All right, let's take a look at the interior and see what we can find that the Jetour T1 has to offer. All right, so we're inside the Jetour T1, and right off the bat, I'd say I love this over the Jetour T2. I mean, the Jetour T2 is still a great car overall. It's just that I prefer this one right here. You got your vertically slanted aircon vents right here on the side, which is nice. You got this grab handle right here for the passenger, and you've got physical buttons. That's right, physical buttons for your air conditioning system here, which makes it a lot easier to control even when you're driving. You got a 15.6-inch touchscreen infotainment system right here with both wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. And I'm gonna tell you guys right off the bat, it is one of the better systems, the better units that we have that I've ever tested right here, especially for these new car brands. And going through your hybrid system, checking that out right there, you can see exactly how much fuel and how much electricity you've used throughout the entire day. Now, one thing that I do appreciate here is that you can actually delineate between electric consumption and fuel consumption, which is of course something that you might want to do. I mean, one of the things about buying a plug-in hybrid electric system is that you get the best of both worlds. You get the fuel efficiency of course, an electric, and the power of a gas. In this case right here, a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. Now, on the screen right here, you also have access to quite a capable 360-degree camera system, or should I say 540-degree. Now, one thing here, you can actually choose between 2D and 3D. You can see all around your car. Now, one of my gripes about this is that once you hit the turn signals, or if you move your steering wheel to the left or right, the camera activates itself to check out the blind spot, but that is something that you can deactivate. It's just that's something that's default, and you might want to keep that in mind. Now, on the screen, you can also activate your cooled or ventilated seats. So you have ventilated seats for both the passenger and the driver. You got this oddly shaped 6 octagon shaped steering wheel that we have right here that takes a little bit of getting used to. Now, it is adjustable for both reach and brake, and does adjust quite nicely as well. You have your parking brake, electronic parking brake right here, and the left side reach. You even have a button to open or close the rear hatch right there for the power tailgate. And the center console, check this out. It's right there, solid. So the fit and finish and the build quality of the Jetour T1 certainly top notch, and beats out a lot of the new car brands and new cars out there, in my opinion. Now, right here in the middle, on the center console, you have your electronic shifter. It's shaped in a way that it gives you this fighter jet feel. Shift down for drive, up for reverse, and click on the button for park. Now, another interesting feature here is the drive mode selector. So the drive mode selector is this dial right here. Gives you a nice little click. There you go. And once you click on it, it gives you this nice animation on the screen telling you what particular drive mode you're at. And you have your automatic brake hold, your button for your 360-degree camera system, 2 cup holders right here, a ventilated cubby hole with your center armrest that's nicely padded, and everywhere we touch, soft touch materials. You got red stitching right there, even on the seats. They're very nice and firm, but not hard. So you can be firm and hard, but not at the same time. You also have this huge panoramic sunroof on top. It's a great place to be in. It has a nice mix of physical buttons, a nice mix of course, very intuitive user interface right here, I gotta say, and solid ergonomics on the inside. So yep, it's a win for me. My only gripe is this word, drive your future. Let's go ahead and ride the future in the second row seats and see how that works out for us. All right, so right here in the second row seats, you'd enjoy all of the space right here on the inside. Usually if we'd be talking really well, like the way I'm doing right now about the interior, you'd find some concessions. It's got at least 5 miles of space between my knees and the front seat. And I am driving behind my own natural driving position, which is pretty laid back, all the way back. Not all the way back, but at least even if I go ahead and relax while I'm driving, it's not going to be a problem for the second row passengers. Plus, you got a totally flat floor right here. So even if I sit right here, the second row, I mean in the middle of the second row, shouldn't be a problem for me because I do have these nice AC vents as well to partner with that flat floor. And you also have two USB ports, one USB-A and one USB-C. The USB-C has two lightning bolts right there in the icon, which means it is a fast charger and it charges pretty fast. Plus you got a nice center armrest, two cup holders right here. Now, one thing I do have about the rear though is that the door cards do not have the same material as the front end there. So you got some hard plastics right here, but you got some soft touch here where your arm usually touches the door anyway, so that should not be a problem. You got some nice chunky grab handles right here, and you would need that if you get in and out of the vehicle. This does have 200 millimeters of ground clearance, but like I said, it certainly feels much higher than that. I guess they had to take into account the really chunky stepboard right there at the bottom, so got that going for it. It does feel quite airy. It doesn't feel claustrophobic here because of the large windows on each side. Plus, if you open up this panoramic sunroof that opens all the way right here in the back, there you go. You got visibility for days. Okay, so I did fail to mention earlier though that the front seats are power operated, with the front passenger actually having ottomans. That's right, they have an ottoman seat right there for your shins. I wish they had that for the second row, but as it stands, this is all okay. Let's take this out for a spin and see how this drives. I want to see how that 1.5 liter turbo acts with that electric motor, vice versa, and I want to show you exactly how it performs. So let's go. So we're now behind the wheel of the 2026 Jetour T1. A lot of people have been asking for this review ever since we released the T2 review, and I can't blame them. I mean, I thought it was just a watered down Jetour T2 because it had front wheel drive instead of all wheel drive, but apparently, as it turns out, I might actually prefer this one over the more off-road oriented T2. For starters, you got a 1.5 liter turbocharged gasoline engine under the hood, and it's mated to an electric motor. So here's how the power rating is according to Jetour. So for the gasoline engine, you make around 140 horsepower and 215 newton meters of torque. And the electric motor, get this, makes a lot more power. It's got 204 horsepower and 310 newton meters of torque. Now, one thing that you might want to add those figures up, maybe 341 horses and 540 torques, but Jetour didn't do that because if they wanted to product this as a performance vehicle, they probably would be doing the math and give us whatever the combined power figures are. But in this case, they went ahead and separated that because this plug-in hybrid electric vehicle primarily runs on electric motor. So we're going to stick to those separate power figures because that turbocharged engine, mainly what it does is that it just charges the battery. It has a 26.7 kilowatt hour battery, and for full electric range it does around 110-120 kilometers, and from my estimates it does just that, but we're going to get to the range and the fuel economy later on. I thought this had double wishbone because going through ruts and imperfect details on the road, I could barely feel any of that. Now, going back to that engine, it has a couple of drive modes. You got your Eco, Normal, Sport, and Snow mode in the Philippines. Power delivery is surprisingly linear. So we got all-out speed if you want to, but that's not what this car is made for. The power delivery is given to us by this one-speed direct hybrid transmission system right here. So it's just one speed, and one thing about that is that you get power right away. The beauty about this plug-in hybrid electric vehicle is that even though you're on hybrid mode, when you're charging the vehicle, you still have the electric motor working for you during acceleration. So you get instant acceleration without the turbo lag, and then once it hits higher speeds, that's when the engine actually turns itself on, giving you seamless acceleration at up to higher speeds. So usually with electric vehicles, once you hit higher speeds, usually the speed tapers off. That's the usual concern with electric vehicles, especially for budget electric vehicles. But with this one here, thanks to the plug-in hybrid technology or the IDM technology, even though you're reaching triple-digit speeds, you still have power to spare once you hit its particular peak. And that's the thing I love about this. And you've got power. Now let's go ahead and test out the acceleration. So again, 3, 2, 1 within the speed limits right here. Okay. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. If you wanted a more performance-oriented vehicle, this is not one of those. So it can get up to speed, but its power delivery is more linear than abrupt. So this is not going to be a replacement for your sports car, but getting up to speed, passing cars through the highway, this is okay for that. Fuel economy, let's talk about fuel economy. The main reason why you're getting a hybrid in the first place, in this case a plug-in hybrid like the Jetour T1. Now let's talk about NVH, or noise, vibration, and harshness. Because of some additional noise cancellation features like this tempered sandwiched acoustic glass for the front passengers, you got some extra insulation on the inside as well, and that suspension, the suspension, the McPherson struts, and the independent suspension in the back. Somehow, one thing that we have here is a very quiet interior, and because of the electric motor there, it's switched over to the engine modes. Whenever it's charging, you can barely feel it. It's primarily an electric car as it moves forward, and the tires do a great job. It doesn't have any road noise when moving along, and absorbs a lot of the bumps and ruts on the road. So it's top notch. Now, Jetour Philippines actually claims that with a full charge and a full tank, you can get up to 1,200 kilometers, because you can run 120 kilometers on full electric, and you've got the fairly efficient turbocharged engine charging the battery as it goes electric. I'd say 1,200. If you drive gingerly and carefully, you can reach that. But with my own testing, I'd say I would reach about 800 kilometers in a full tank and a single charge. So that gives me about 18 kilometers in the city as I drive. The way I drive this is that first I go to hybrid mode. So it's going to use both. It's going to use both the engine and the battery to move my engine, to move the car forward. And then once it reaches 70%, which is its maximum threshold when charging, I go to full EV mode. So once the full EV mode is activated, I drive, let's say, 2 days worth of full electric, and then I go back to hybrid mode, and then it charges the car up. I actually tested this out without having to charge this at any charging station anymore, because I wanted to make this as pure as possible. So while parked on an outside parking station, make sure to do this on outdoors, not indoors. So as soon as I parked, I activated the self-recharging mode of the car. I counted that it takes about 3 minutes to charge at least 1%. So it gives me about 10% charge per 30 minutes, which is absolutely not bad. 10% would give me a good 12 to 13 kilometers, which makes me good to go to charge, to actually run this thing. And if you think that that's going to be as not good for your fuel consumption, it's actually quite well. It barely reduced any gas. I didn't finish off 1 liter while I was charging it on idle during the 30 minutes, so it's fairly fuel efficient as well. So apart from having an electric motor, you have a very efficient turbocharged engine running the car. You're driving around in a big SUV, but with small car energy. So when it comes to safety features, the Jetour T1 is certainly not lacking in that regard. My favorite part is the 540-degree camera surround and the sensors all around. So you got blind spot monitors all around, you got rear cross traffic alert, lane keep assist, lane departure warning, forward collision mitigation, and forward collision alerts, which helps make this one of the safer cars out there. But the safety starts as soon as you ride out, because as soon as you sit in the car, hit drive, it's actually not going to move forward. No, it's not going to move forward. Even if you hit drive, as soon as you put in your seat belts, that's when it's going to start moving forwards. Then you got your multiple airbags, electronic brake force distribution, you got your traction control, hill descent control, hill start assist, your basic features. But when it comes to both passive and active safety features, this one comes complete with all of them. And at a starting price of 1,898,000 pesos, it's a great value. I'd say if you were to get your own plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, this is not a bad way to go. And all the space that you have inside, but I want to know what you think. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below and tell me if there are any other SUVs in the market that you think can compete with this, or if you want to get your own Jetour T1, head on over to Zigwheels.Ph to get the best prices. Oh, also subscribe to that channel and hit that notification icon so you won't miss any of our videos. It's been Roy Robles from Zigwheels.Ph. I'll see you guys next time.